Hello, Intuitive Academy people, folks. Welcome. So, we are getting into channeling for beginners today. I'm really excited about this because I believe that, like the video I just posted today, I think I'm on a roll. Um, Channeling is one of the first steps that you need. And it starts with meditation. Yeah. You weren't going to get away with that one. Being able to sit and put yourself in a trance is first in line. It sounds crazy, but sometimes the guided meditations, they teach you how to do the process. But it's not, sorry guys. Um, sorry, the process of you understanding how meditation works. That's what the guided meditations are for. But they are like riding a bike with handlebars on it. You're meant to take those off. If you want to get into channeling, how about I explain what channeling is? How about that? So there's no misconception there. Channeling is receiving messages from the collective. You can receive messages through cards, which is what divination is, and I'll give you a demonstration of that today. You can just receive them through your head after a while after you get used to them, because we naturally do it anyway. It's just you learning to recognize when it's happening, when your messages are yours, when they're other people's, those sort of things. This is just ground zero for you starting to understand how to utilize your gifts and recognize what they are, because they're already there. And we all sort of have the same thing. It's just a matter of attuning different strengths. All right, so putting yourself in a trance, ground zero, meditation, visualization. Visualization is closing your eyes and seeing things. This is actually how you allow your light body to interact in the realms that we cannot see. What you see in your head is actually being streamed through your third eye. That's a psychic sense of yourself. It's something that we do so naturally we don't recognize. Dreaming is also you living out your day life desires and your plans and stuff in the astral realms. The people that you see there are actually the light bodies of the other people. You run into other people in the plane. You run and you solve problems. You have fights there. Like, did you ever have a situation where you thought you had a dream about somebody cheating on you and stuff? You woke up and you were really mad, like it mattered. That's because in the astral realm they were cheating on you. And sometimes, as above, so below. What happens up there affects down here. Just mostly psychologically and the motivation behind what you do. Because if somebody pisses you off in a dream, or they do something shady in the dream, chances are you're going to remember to watch that person in real life, right? Because that's their actual character. In these bodies, in these formats, we tend to take on the role of our ego, which means sometimes we play the character, which is separate from the wanton, just free spirit that is when in the astral or when you visualize. So, for instance, protection for your home. Every night, what I do in order to clear my house out, just in case, because spirits just pass through. That's life. That's houses. We are all frequencies. It's important for you guys to remember. We are solid when we look at each other, but when we don't look at each other, it's like that. What's that proverb? I don't know that parable. Whatever. About the tree that falls in the forest. Does it still make a sound? If nobody's looking at you, no, you're not solid. These are all vibrations. We are atoms and molecules and stuff that are vibrating at such a fast frequency that we can see each other. Okay. So keeping that in mind, and that everything is one, that we are all frequencies, we are all TV static. Just picture us like that the energies merge together. All right. When you sit into silence in a meditation, you still your body. You start to picture your house. Picture a big cloud of smoke, and take that cloud of smoke through the house and just pick up everything. Pick up all the dirt. Just imagine the energy, the frequencies getting cleared. You're your own vacuum through your whole house. And then I just honestly, as I vision it, once the house is filled with all the way through the yard, filled with a big cloud, I go blow that all out, and then I drop a seal over it. And then I drop a black seal over that, and then I imagine it invisible so that nobody can see in. And that's how I protect my house. It actually works. Another thing to do for this is to write that down. And I can show you mine 1 second. In my manifestation book, that's still going to be cuter in the future, I swear. But like Death Note, if you haven't seen Death Note, it's on Netflix, probably a horrible example use, but just understand that my humor is dark. Death Note is a movie about a guy who gets a book that has special powers, and whatever he writes in it, whoever he writes in it dies, however he says they die. This is a manifestation book. So whatever I write in here exists in this plane and any other plane that my energy exists. So the first thing that was written in here, move this over for you, is my home, my astral home, my protection. Not only did I write it down in detail, um, in deep detail, like what happens if somebody attacks it, what does it smell like, what does it feel like, what is the weather like, what safety is around it, just everything. Just you want to visualize. This is your Game of Thrones castle. This is your fortress in the spirit realm, so that none of the other entities can get you. You have somewhere to be safe all the time. You visualize that, and then occasionally you go there in your head. Like you walk around your home there, make sure everything's together, make sure there are no entities. Sometimes you can go there and you can feel when something's off. You can know when somebody's like tried to attack you. Mine's is, I've explained this before, but mine's I have like laser sharks. Like I have crazy things there. I have protectors. I added some new stuff this week. Like that is your protection in the astral realm, and it makes such a difference that and cleans in your house at night. But that is an example of how channeling your own energy through visualization, sort of like in what you see and what dreams may come. That is you creating your world there, the safety for your light body, because this is your soul here. Your soul here is a spark of your light body, but it's weighed down by all your karma. The goal here is to release yourself of so much karma that you're able to float back up and reunite with the rest of your higher self and go to the other planes. Because when you're here on Earth, you have so much karmic baggage, you're short of tracks in here. So visualizations first. That is ground zero. If you're not a person that's able to sit there in a quiet of meditation like you really think you should, then visualization is a great way. Do that a couple times a day for anything that you really want to draw into your life. Imagine what it feels like to already have it. Imagine it with gratitude, because you can't manifest through negativity, and you can make the mistake of manifesting what you don't want by channeling through you negative versions of it. Only keep your manifestations in mind with positivity. And that's the way you work with those. Now, for channeling, sitting in silence and putting yourself into a trance. The quickest, easiest way for you to relax is to lay down. First of all, lay down and take 3 deep breaths. That is automatically going to put your body in relax mode. Then add 2 more breaths in there where you focus on relieving the tension. The goal here is to make your body just go like that weird feeling you get when you sort of fall asleep when you're watching TV. You just relax. Also, you can do this if you smoke weed. It's way easier to get into that space of just you feel stuck. It feels like a level of, I don't know how else to explain it, but you'll know when you do it because you're still, like you're aware of the room around you and you're just deeply in your mind. Now once you are there, imagine yourself in the black room. Open the door. Open the green door. Imagine your heart chakra. You want the answers to the universe, and the only way to get those is through love. When you are in this little trance, imagine that green door and you open the door. Once you step through this green door, look around. What do you see? Imagine a library. You should see a library. That is typically what pops up there. And I just gave you a big hack because this is how you get into the Akashic records. The Akashic records are the records of everything that has ever been said, ever will be said, ever done, and your whole soul's memory. So once you get into this library, ask a question and ask to be guided to the answer. And regardless of whether you see it flash in front of you or you just sort of suddenly get a knowing, just allow things to come through you. Sit in silence, imagine yourself walking around. Keep your mind busy while walking through this library. Or imagine you pick up the book and flip through the pages, because no matter what you do, even if you can't see it or it takes some practice, the information is streaming to your subconscious. And it'll pop up in your real life. You'll find something that resonates, or it'll pop up in your dreams, but you're definitely doing something in there. And when you get done in there, receiving whatever you need to see, I typically go in there. I find a book. I sit down on my little imaginary couch and I try to watch a movie of what's in there because I'm a very visual person. I don't like when I have to like just flip through blank pages and get the information later because I'm a child of technology. I want instant gratification. So after you get done, however you get your information, make sure you say thank you for the assistance. You walk back out that green door and then you count yourself off by 5. It's very easy, and I saw so many other ways that it was difficult to do it, and I just wanted to simplify it for people like me because I have ADD. Being able to put myself in a trance is the easiest way. It's better than a guided meditation because I have ways to keep my mind busy, and I feel like that would probably be great for other people. Now, that is a way of channeling the message as well. The next way I'm going to show you is actually divination. So we're working with the archetype deck today. And I'm actually going to pull 3 cards and see what you resonate. So like this is like a 2-in-1. You get a reading as well. So this archetype deck is amazing. It represents all the different types of people you can be on this plane, all the characteristics and phases of life. And I find that I get quirky decks. I find decks that I am able to use to help people better. Like, what characteristics are you dealing with? But you can also do petty stuff like, hey, who is my husband really mean or some shit? You know, I don't know what people do. Who's backstabbing me at work? Who's sabotaging me? Sometimes it'll tell you. It'll be like martyr. It's really fucked up. But no, this is a great deck. I'll link you guys below if you're interested in getting this. The archetype deck. It tells you characteristics. All right, so I'm going to pick out 3 cards. All right, so what's energy? Intuitive Academy. What energy? And I need you guys to keep in your head number 1, 2, or 3 right now. 1, 2, or 3. Because that's the card that's going to resonate with you. So right now what I'm doing is I'm asking the question. You always want to keep the question in mind while you're doing this, because that's allowing the energy for your mind to search through what the answer is. Because what's happening is your crown, the receptor of your messages, if your chakras are clear, your crown is receiving messages from up here, the other outer chakras. This is your 8th chakra right here and your 9th one right here. And there's even another one up here. But the energy comes down from out there into your crown. When I pull, I ask directly from source. You can choose if you want to connect with your client. You can choose to connect to their heart space to get an answer, but that means that you're directly connected to their energy and they're connected to yours, and you've got to remember to cut that off before the session is done. I don't necessarily want to pull from that person, although the accuracy is better when you pull from their energy. I pull from spirit because I want to give them the answer that the higher self, the universe, what their highest good would be, comes through. And also, it doesn't intermingle my energy so much with the other person's. I don't take on any of their baggage. It just comes straight from here, my energy, and it's less cleanup work. Because over time, if you're doing spiritual work, you don't want to have to put so much into having to clean up messes of intermingling with other people's energy and their demons and stuff. So, what energy? Third group of intuitive. Now I get to show you guys like this part as well. They even give you some cards where you can draw in one. I'm feeling one of these needs to be bitch assness. If they don't have a bitch assness card in there, that should be an archetype, right? That would be like Littlefinger. Game of Thrones. So alright, this book comes, let me see. These cards come with like a whole breakdown if you're one of those people that really likes to read to get a idea, because it's super handy. But when you're channeling, if you're not a person that likes to read, although I suggest everybody read through one time every book they get to get a good idea of what the artist and the person's intention, because everybody's intentions matter in these readings. But you can look at the pictures and you can allow the information come through you. Now the thing is, you want to ground yourself. You always want to be hydrated when you started this. Water is a conduit. We are like 70% water, but adding some more in there like totally helps every time. You want to clear your mind, because you don't want this to be about your ego, your thoughts, what you're going through, or any of that. You want this to be a clean read straight from spirit to the recipient. So once you're clear, flip your cards. All right, so group 1, if you picked card 1, give you a second. Think 1, 2, or 3 right quick if you didn't think it already. Okay, 1, 2, or 3. Group 1, you got the energy of the hedonist. for group one. What are the light attributes according to this card? You inspire creativity to embrace the good things in life, and you celebrate the beauty in yourself. That's wonderful. What are the shadow attributes? Pursuing pleasure to the detriment of health with indulgence at the expense of others. Ooh, that's rough, right? So that's what it says on here. That gave you a quick breakdown, but what does this make you feel like? Because even as you watch this right now, because we are frequencies, you're channeling what I'm saying through you. So what would you say if you got this card? If somebody said, "Hey, I'm going through something right now," and this card popped up, what would you say? "Ma'am, you are desiring a little more um, than is fair right now. It's a bit overindulgent of self. You are a bit self-involved. And you need to look at the people around you and see if maybe there's other ways you can be of service with this going on right now. You're enjoying the good things in life, but it's always important to remember balance. You are not the only person in the world, and we are inevitably here to develop ourselves by connecting to one another, by realizing that all is bigger self. So, though your life may be great, remember there are other people who aren't. Maybe spread some of that good juju and energy around group number one. So group number two. All right, coming straight through. You got judge. Now this time I'm going to do it different because you should always do it multiple ways. Just switch it up. See what works for you is the most important thing. Because I'm also going to show you other decks over time, guys, so you can find out what works over time. Because everybody has a different recipe and a different thing that they can offer to their clientele or to the people you love, or a different way that you can find information that better connect to yourself if that's what you're doing this for. But this judge, the light attributes, the light shadow, so to speak, balancing justice and compassion, managing fair distribution of power. So this is very Libra energy, and it's Libra season. The shadow attribute, offering only destructive criticism, misusing power. So that makes sense. If you are the judge, be a little bit more compassionate. Remember your heart as well. Don't be too harsh on other people just because your life is going well. It feels like there's a lot here. I'm happy y'all are doing so well. But that energy of balance, of being fair, sometimes you might not take into consideration. There are things you don't know that the other person is going through. So be as gentle on others as you expect them to be on yourself. Be as compassionate. And I feel like this when you spit, and I feel that. I feel all this. Okay, so if you pick number 3, you got the athlete. So what is the energy that you're projecting right now? What is the vibe? The light attributes of the athlete are dedication to transcending physical limits, development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. Yes, come through. That's somebody who's getting through it, like overcoming 2020. Group number 3, the shadow attributes, misuse of abilities for selfish end, false sense of invulnerability and entitlement. So, all right, because this comes all to the same thing, roughly. The energy here, like compassion, allowing others to see your humanity and accepting the humanity in others. Maybe that's all connected because that's sort of what's going on in the world in general right now. There are also several other like awesome cards. Yes. When you ask all sorts of questions, like I tend to do things like, all right, what traits do I need to embrace? What do I need to let go of? Who's getting on my fucking nerves? Like stuff like that. Who's sending shade? Who is the secret hater in my midst? regular life problems for this deck. So that's the divination version. Most people use tarot, but if you're just beginning, oracle cards work just as good as tarot. All of them work the same. You can even like cut up some paper, assign some meanings to it. This is just like when you were little and you used to play that game with the thing where you fold up the paper and shit. Or you write names, or like any tag game. Those are all versions of divination because the energy is streaming through your channel into your hands, and you're shuffling as needed. You're being dictated by the frequency that you had given permission to enter you. Permissions are important during channeling. Nothing gets in, that's important to know. Nothing gets in without your permission. You have to allow it, the connection. It's that universal laws, because free will is the thing that is always intact with this. So we went over divination, checking out the Akashic records, Also, some meditation and visualization. Trying to think of what we're going to get into mediumship in October. I think we should. This is just the beginners. You starting to get an understanding. You can do this with like out in nature with the channeling. Just sit still and listen and see what comes through. You'd be surprised what you hear. Like ask to listen to nature. Hug a tree. Put your feet in the grass. This is also grounding and earthing, and it'll connect you to the energy that is in the grass and sort of replenish you from all the technology that has fried our circuits and stuff. Because your channeling will be difficult if your chakras aren't clear. I listen to frequencies to go to bed. You can listen to full-on frequencies that clear the whole thing at night, or just to raise your vibration. A tuning fork. You can stage to clear your chakras, or you can visualize the colors of all your chakras sort of being flowers and blooming. Start with the root chakra, that's red. Imagine a red flower blooming. An orange for the sacral. Yellow for the solar plexus. Green for the heart. Blue for the throat. Purple for the third eye, and then like this clear iridescent sort of thing for the crown. But that's a way to open your chakras and balance them, because if one area is out of place, then your messages don't stream all the way to your root chakra is the base for your messages. And as a matter of fact, if your heart isn't open, the messages from the rest of your chakras can't come through here. So your throat might be blocked or something. So it's very important when you're getting into channeling that you look out for your chakras. And you start with meditation. Okay, so this was channeling for beginners. Let me know if you got any cool tips out of this, and like what happened for you. Thank you.